way here to Mickey Joe Fields Memorial Field here at Buckhorn, Kentucky. We're a little late getting the live stream started. Had some technical difficulties. As of right now, the Betsy Layne Bobcats have got 3 runners on base. Well, they have changed the ruling from a hit by pitch to a strike.
Yeah, so to break it down, there was a hit by pitch to start, and we put the runner on first. And then what happened to get the
Infield hit.
Okay, so infield hit, got the runners on first and second. Then there was another hit by pitch, but Coach Stidham appealed that to the ump, and they said he leaned into the bat or leaned into the ball, so they took away the hit by pitch, and it is an out.
I think it was on board as strike, I think, which made strike 3.
Yeah. So there's 1 out, runners on first and second.
Yeah, and up the bat for the Betsy Layne Bobcats is number 24, Eli Gerald, who's playing shortstop for him. Austin Riley is on the mound today for the Buckhorn Wildcats. Starts off the count 0-1 with a nice little breaking ball into the strike zone. Got runners on first and second for the Bobcats. Riley gets the call, comes set, looks at runners, goes to the plate. Another strike in there, 0-2 count for Riley. Getting ahead on this count. He's kind of struggled the first 2-3 batters there. Kind of caught a break there that last batter with the leaned in pitch. Being able to turn to a strikeout. Riley brings it in, curveball. Batter pops it up. Napier's going back, and it's out of play. So count's still 0-2. Gerald's staying alive on an 0-2 count.
Yeah, getting those looks like young ladies up there on the top row to move around. That ball hit back into the bleachers.
You got to stay active here if you're going to be in foul territory. You never know when you might get hit by a foul ball. All right. Looks like Riley accidentally dropped the baseball while coming set, so it is a balk. So it's a ball for the batter, and the 2 runners get to advance to second and third base. So we got 1 out currently. Runners on second or third now. 1-2 count. Riley goes to the plate. Curveball in the dirt, blocked up by Napier. It's a good stop by him. Runners don't advance. Counts 2-2 now.
Yeah, good stop. Like I said, by Napier there. Backstop here is not too big at Buckhorn, but there's plenty of room. You have to let the runner from third be able to get home.
Got a rip going into a short blooper into left field. See if anybody gets to it. And it is down. Runner from third is going to score. Then the runner from second advances to third, and Gerald advances to second after the throw to home plate. So RBI single for Eli Gerald of the Betsy Layne Bobcats. So now Bobcats currently lead the Wildcats 1-0 at the top of the first inning. All right. Now coming to the bat for the Bobcats, number 0, E.J. Haggard, playing center field for him. Right. Slow start for the Wildcats. See if Riley can get ahead of the count. Comes set, watches the runners. Makes a pickoff move. Doesn't throw it, just to keep the runners at home.
Yeah, and ease over just for a second. You'll notice both these base runners are super active right now for the Bobcats. Really trying to get in Riley's head.
Nice rip in the gap. Straight center field. Run for third scores. Run for second, rounds third, and stays at third. So RBI single for number 0, E.J. Haggard, putting the Bobcats up 2-0 on the Buckhorn Wildcats.
So 2 runs now on 2 hits. We have runners on the corners, first and third.
Now up the bat for the Betsy Layne Bobcats is number 19, Parker Newsom, playing third base for the Bobcats today. All right, Riley gets the call. Comes set, checks runners, and goes to the plate. Run from first is still in the second. And it was a ball, no throw from Napier, an attempt to pick off the runner. And it was a ball going across the plate, so it counts 1-0. Still only 1 out here in the top of the first. Runners on second and third now.
Yeah, with decent speed on third, the throw out trying to get the runner to second is ill-advised, say it that way.
Especially this early in the game when you don't really need to make that throw to give up an extra run. Right, that was a ball that last pitch, so the count is 2-0. Riley comes set. Goes to the plate. Swing and a miss. Foul tip. Yep, that was a foul tip. Umpire called it dead, so Riley got a strike. So count is 2-1. Really not a bad day for baseball. A little chilly, but had some sun. Wish sun was up a little bit more. He was getting some warmth. Grounder to short, fielded by Caleb McIntosh, throws it home instead of first. Runner from third scores a home. Runner for second advances to third, and the runner safe at first. So now the score is 3-0 for Betsy Layne. Only one out still, and runners on the corners. All right. Up to bat now for the Bobcats is number 15, Canyon Sloan, who's playing second base for the Bobcats.
So good rally here to start off the game by the Bobcats. Betsy Layne still, like I said, just one out.
Riley goes to the plate, swing and a miss. Runner from first steals, gets safely to second base with no throw, no tent by Napier. So they're just giving up the free bag to the Bobcats. But the count's 0-1, so Riley's starting ahead of this count. Looked like a design of hit and run to me. Batter's going to swing no matter what. Riley goes to the plate. Might be a little low. Umpire calls the ball. Count is 1-1 now.
Riley's still got good pop going on. He's still got good velocity. Just struggling a little bit with the control here to get started in this game.
Goes to the plate. In the dirt, gets by Napier just a little bit. Could be a play at home plate. Couldn't get to it quick enough. Runner scores from third. And the run for second advances to third. So the score is now 4-0 in Betsy Layne's favor. Still only one out in the inning.
Yeah, that was ball 2. So runner advanced to third. Should get all this cleaned up here. So yeah, 4-0 for the Bobcats to start this game.
Right. Sloan gets back in the batter's box. Riley gets back on the mound. Gets the pitch call. Goes to the plate. Looks like a ball outside. Count is 3-1 now?
3-1.
3-1. Buckhorn should be getting a new scoreboard here soon. It's not up yet, so I lose track all the time. Ball in the dirt. Looks like ball 4. Sloan gets the advance to first base.
Yeah, we can get the scoreboard up. Like I said, in days I'm not over here, we can just send you over a second camera. It'd be a lot easier. You can just point it over there and leave it.
Up to bat now for the Bobcats is number 3, Aiden Morrison, playing left field for him. Runner on first and third. Runner on first is going to second on steal. In the dirt for a ball. No throw to second base. Now we got runners on second and third.
Napier did a good move. He was getting up quickly there, but ball in the dirt kind of messed up his timing.
Yes. Riley gets the pitch call. Comes set. Checks the runners. Goes to the plate. Swing, and it is a foul ball out play. So the count is even up to 1-1 now.
And we're talking about, Betsy Layne was a little late getting here. When they got off the bus, we were kind of talking, we're not many numbers. But we're talking about, a lot of times it is quality over quantity. And so far, these Bobcats are legit. They're hitting the ball.
And when you put the ball in play, good things tend to happen. That's a strike for Riley, so the count is 1-2 now. Like I've always been told, swing, put it in play. You never know what's going to happen. Make them make the play instead of striking yourself out. Riley gets the pitch call. Comes set. Goes to the plate. Curveball in the dirt. Blocked by Napier. Holds runners at second and third. So no run scores. Good play by Napier to keep a run from crossing the plate. Counts 2-2 now. Got only one out in this inning. Runner on second and third. Riley goes to the plate. Swing and a foul out of play. So Morrison stays alive for the Bobcats.
That one was dangerous. I lost track of it. One was fun thing about a baseball field.
Yeah.
Pop flies, and if you don't know where the ball's at, you just kind of duck your head and hope for the best.
Run for cover, put your hands over your head, and hopefully it don't hit you in the head. Waiting for some extra pearls. As Coach Tim tells me all the time, that's what he's got. Those nice white new baseballs. It's almost a shame to use a brand new one, get it dirty. They look too nice. All right, count's still 2-2, I believe. Riley gets sick, goes to the plate, swing. He puts it on the ground in the hole. Cameron Miller's there at second base to field it, throws it to first, and pulls him off the bag. So the runner is safe at first. Runner from third scores. Runner from second advances to third. Everybody is safe. So the score now is 5-0 in the favor of the Bobcats with only one out in the top of the first. All right.
Oh.
Now for the bat for the Bobcats is Wes Hamilton in the bat in the nine hole and playing right field for the Bobcats. First pitch was a swing and a miss, so the count is 0-1. If you're the Bobcats, you want to keep this momentum going, keep swinging and keep getting hits. If you're the Wildcats, you want to get out the field as quickly as possible right now.
Quick pick off attempt there, going to first.
Just to keep the runner safe, or keep the runner close to home. I feel like every time it's on corners, Betsy Layne is sending them to second base immediately off the first pitch.
He's not getting a great lead off first right now.
Riley comes set. Goes to the plate. Runner from first is going to second, swing and a miss. Napier bobbled it on the transition, so no throw down to second, so the runner's safe. Runner's on second and third. 0-1 count for Hamilton. No, 0-2 count for Hamilton. Let's see if the Wildcats can pick up their second out of the inning. Riley goes to the plate. Swing and a miss. First base is occupied, so you got to make a play. That's out 2. Good throw down for Napier. Good catch by Campbell at first. That's a strikeout for Riley. So 2 outs now. We're in the top of the first. Now they're hitting through the lineup, so the first batter of the game is back up to bat, which is number 2, Caden Brown, who'll be pitching for the Bobcats tonight.
Yeah, he was hit by a pitch first time, so we weren't on the air yet. Checking out a new computer here at Buckhorn tonight, and it had a little bit of a delay. So we got it programmed now, and it's all good to go.
Riley goes to the plate. Low. Ball 1, so counts 1-0.
Seems like he's struggling more with those off-speed pitches right now. And there's one thing you see a lot of times in high school is there's such a dramatic change from throwing heat to throwing throwing the off-speed. A lot of times it ends up low.
Good rip third base. Rice catches it, throws to the first, and it's an out. So no runs scored in that play. Third out for the top half of the first inning. The Betsy Layne Bobcats are up 5-0 on the Wildcats before they even have a chance to swing the bats.
And so it's a great start, good hot start by Betsy Layne. It's what you want, after that long bus ride over here. That's what you want to see coming out here. So, like I said, 5-0 lead going into the bottom of the first. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on BSN.
For over 100 years, Buckhorn Children and Family Services has been changing lives across Kentucky, providing compassionate care, healing, and hope to families in need. From addiction treatment to foster care, residential treatment, and more, our programs help families and individuals build strong, healthy futures. Whether it's through evidence-based treatment for children or life-changing support for adults, we're answering God's call to make a lasting impact. Join us in changing lives and restoring hope. Please visit buckhorn.org or send your support to Buckhorn Children and Family Services in Buckhorn, Kentucky. Together, we can build strong, thriving families.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
The Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance wants to inform the general public that Little Flower Clinic is a full-service medical clinic available for everyone. We accept most major insurances like the one your employer provides and Medicaid. Little Flower has an experienced staff of medical professionals providing all types of services from general physicians, mental health services, dental, chronic disease case management, and even chiropractic. We have on-site x-ray and laboratory services. Little Flower Clinic, everyone's medical home in the mountains.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready for the bottom half of the first inning. Not a great start for the Wildcats, but nothing that you can't come back from by getting some momentum, getting the bats going here in the bottom half of the first inning. And that's what they need. You don't have to score all 5 runs or more right now in this inning. Get you 1, 2, or 3 maybe, get some momentum going, and then have a strong out in the top half of the next inning and get yourself going.
Yeah, I can attest to that. The first game I got to call this year was with you guys, and the second game was Breathitt versus Letcher. And Letcher actually had a 9-run lead in the second inning, after the second inning, and Breathitt kind of just 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, and just kind of whittled away at it and was able to come back and win that game. Like I said, it took 5, it took 6 innings, 6.5, but they did it. So
that's what's so beautiful about baseball. You get down big early, you can still have a chance to come back. If you get down 25 in the first quarter in a basketball game, it's really hard to come back from that. There's a time limit. There is no time limit in baseball. But up first the bat for the Buckhorn Wildcats is number one, Braden Campbell, number 14, who is playing first base. Pitcher comes set, goes to the plate. Campbell puts the bat on it, puts it into center field for a single to start off the inning. First pitch single for the Wildcats. Now, pitching for the Bobcats is number 2, Caden Brown. Now, just like I was just saying, good opportunity, get some momentum going. That way you can maybe get a little close, dig into this lead a little bit so it doesn't seem like it's too far away. Now, up to bat for the Wildcats is the pitcher, number 0, Austin Riley. Let's see if he can help himself out here by getting a good hit into the outfield, maybe score Campbell. Brown comes set, checks the runner, goes to the plate. Low, so the count's 1-0.
And watching the throwdown from the catcher here, kind of hit and miss. Good strong arm. The control wasn't as good there, so maybe to watch Campbell on first, he may try to attempt second.
Brown comes set, goes to the plate. Riley swings up the right field line, and it is fair. Campbell is round second, Riley's round first. Campbell's holding up at third, Riley's up at second, and that is a double for Riley. So first 2 batters up for the Wildcats is 2 hits. That was a good piece hit. Took it opposite field right down the line. Wasn't the longest hit, but it was the hit they needed right there.
It's a lot about placement. So you get some good speed and you hit something down the right field line. It's all the way away from the play. It gives you a lot more time to try to move around the base.
Now, up to bat for the Buckhorn Wildcats is number 5, Parker Mayhew, who's playing right field today. Brown comes set, goes to the plate. Low, gets past the catcher. Campbell is going from third to home. Score stand up. Riley advances to third base. So, the Wildcats have already put up 1 run within 3 batters. So the score is 5-1.
Yeah, and like I said, I complain about this about myself every game. I always forget to put the hits up. So right now, 1 run, 2 hits for the Buckhorn Wildcats.
All right, Brown comes set. Goes to the plate. Low. Counts 2-0. Let's see. Runner on third here. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Brown comes set. Looks at the runner. Goes to the plate. Parker swinging. Grounded to short. Short fields it. Throws to the first. That's out number 1, but it is a run batted in for Mayhew as Riley crosses the plate from third. So the score now is 5-2. 1 down. Bases cleared with the number 4 batter coming up. Layne Napier wearing number 4 and is catching for the Wildcats. So, Wildcats have already got 2 to come across the plate. Way to get back in the game a little bit.
Like you said, you don't need all 5. Like you said, it already feels different.
It already feels different. Got some momentum going. Coming to the plate, breaking ball. Napier gets under it, and it's a little blooper into left field, and it is a bloop single for Napier off the first pitch of the at-bat. One thing I've noticed today about these Wildcats is that, unlike the first 2 games that we've covered, they're attacking early in the account and seeing if they can get a pitch they like early instead of waiting to get deep in that count. Which is the approach I always took when I was a batter in high school. I always try to get the first one because the first pitch is usually the best pitch you're going to get. All right, now up to bat for the Wildcats is number 35, Braden Rice, who's playing third base. Ball high. Catcher throws at the first. Napier gets back in time. He's safe. Count 1-0, 1 out for the Bobcats. Let's see here. Brown getting the call. Still looking. Looks back at the runner. Comes set. Looks at him again. Goes to the plate. Outside. Counts 2-0.
That one looked close to the zone there.
Very close.
Not a great angle from this side. Like I said, this side here. So maybe once everything, all the construction's going, we'll be able to get behind the plate, get a view of that.
That's one of those pitches that's a little bit too close to comfort. So a lot of people probably swing at those. Third pitch of the at-bat is low. Counts 3-0.
Rice showing great patience here.
I'm sure Coach Tim's going to give him the universal take sign. Let's see if he actually takes it or if he wants to swing freely. Pitcher goes to the plate. Strike 1. Counts 3-1 now. All right, Rice getting the call from Coach Tim here. Gets in the box. Gets ready. Brown gets the call. Looks back Napier at first. Goes to the plate. Strike 2. Same location. Now the count is full. If you're Rice, you got to swing anything close to keep yourself alive. If you're Brown here, you want to get it over the plate and maybe get a possible strikeout or a weak grounder low maybe. Goes to the plate. Low. And it's a grounder up the right field line. So it's foul ball. Count stays 3-2.
Good job by Rice battling this out. I always like to see those batters kind of scoot up in the box, shorten the swing, choke up on that bat. Just fight it out.
And if you don't know, a lot of people skip in the box. For one, if they're ahead of the count or ahead of the pitcher, or to get that breaking ball before it breaks too much before it gets to the plate to where you miss the ball. Brown gets the call, comes set, looks the runner back, goes to the plate. Strike 3, swing and a miss by Rice. So that's 2 down now for the Bobcats. With runner on first, with Caleb McIntosh coming at the bat for the Wildcats, wearing number 15 and is playing shortstop today. 2 outs, scores 5-2. So the Wildcats have dug into this lead a little bit. They probably want to keep going and dig in a little bit more, get a little more comfortable. Now Brown comes set, looks the runner, goes to the plate. A high swing, a little chopper back to the pitcher, back to Brown. Brown throws over the first, and it's out number 3 for the inning. So in the bottom half of the first inning, we've had 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 strikeout, a ground out. 2 ground outs?
Yes.
2 ground outs. Okay.
So like I said, the Wildcats done a good job. I said, whittling away at it. It already feels different. All the momentum was with the Bobcats. A big first inning there, 5 runs. If Wildcats would have come out and kind of laid an egg, all like I said, going straight back into the lineup for the Bobcats. This one may have been over quickly. Now you can feel the difference. You see the Wildcats more active. The body language has changed some. So see if they can Riley can get it dialed in here, get a quick inning, and be right back in this one. So we're going to kick it out for another quick commercial break. We'll be back here in about 90 seconds on Bluegrass Sports Nation.
So yeah, we've hit that time of year. Time to think about saving money. The season of saving and upgrading at Appalachian Wireless. How about a brand new iPhone 13 for just a penny? iPhone 13 128 gig for a penny with a mix and match or unlimited plan. Terms and conditions do apply. Just visit AppalachianWireless.com for details. So let's do some saving and upgrading because we are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
At People's Bank and Trust of At Hazard Community and Technical College, you are more than just a number. With our low faculty to student ratio, you'll get the personal attention and support you need to succeed. Our dedicated faculty is here to guide you every step of the way, helping you reach your goals in a community that cares. Choose HCTC. We'll never underestimate you. Call us at 606-487-3293 to learn more.
All right, welcome back. We're here in the top half of the second inning. Scores 5-2 in the favor of the Bobcats. Now, for the Bobcats, we have number 27, Connor Joe Johnson, coming up. He is catching for the Bobcats today. Now, he got a walk earlier in the top half before we got on streaming here. See what happens here. He is swinging first pitch. It's going down the left field line, and it is fair. It drops down for a single.
That was perfectly in the only spot we couldn't see where the ball landed, right behind the fence there. But it was just a foot inside that third base line. But like I said, that was thinking it was going to go foul, so the base runner really wasn't actually in gear there. Should have been on second.
Should have been on his high horse, trying to get as many bases as possible. Now, up to bat for the Bobcats, number 44, Cole Lafferty. Now, Lafferty here was the victim of possibly leaning into the pitch and getting called strike three instead of being hit by a pitch. They reversed it with a strike, and where it was strike three, they called him out. So, now if anybody doesn't know, here at Buckhorn, the left field line, as you further you go down, the fence gets closer to in play. So it's a little tricky if you're a left fielder because you have really no room to work with without running into the fence in the foul territory. So I'd say Gunnar Guy in left field there was probably getting a little antsy about hitting that fence, and I don't blame him. Now Riley comes set, goes to the plate, looks off speed, in the dirt, blocked by Napier for a ball.
Yeah, like I said, talking about the way the field tapers here. Anybody that's running into chain link at full fence knows it's not the most pleasant thing in the world.
No.
You may do it once, but you don't want to do it again.
That's a rip to right field for Lafferty. It gets down into the corner. Runner from first is on the high horse. Round on third. He's round on three, going home. Throw's not going to make it in time. Lafferty's on second. Ball being loose here in the infield, and Lafferty makes his way to third in time.
Yeah, Miller looked like the ball may have just slipped out a little bit, didn't get a home in a hurry, and smart base running, being aware of where the ball's at and what's going on and moving on.
So that'd be scored as a double for Lafferty. Then he just advanced on the throw. For the folks keeping count at home. Trick this like old Reds broadcasters. For all you folks keep a score at home, that was ruled a double. Up the bat now for the Bobcats, number 24, Eli Gerald. Riley comes to the plate. Curveball in the dirt, ball. Counts 1-0. So the Bobcats have got one runner across in this top half with no outs and a runner on third. Counts 1-0. Riley comes set. Goes to the plate. Right on the inside corner. So the count is 1-1. Good pitch by Riley there. Locked up Gerald there a little bit. Thought he was going to hit him, but caught right there in the inside corner.
You can always tell which batters, except from this angle, you can't really see it. But which ones crowd the box, really get up on top of the plate there. So anything comes inside is a danger.
Now, I never personally liked to crowd the box or crowd the plate because my theory was if I crowd the plate, anything inside, I can't even get a bat on. So I'm going to give myself a little space and maybe turn on one inside. All right, another strike from Riley. Now the count is 2-2. Riley's got some room to work with here. Maybe sit him down with a strikeout, or maybe get a nice something low, get a ground out, or maybe have a pop up. Gerald here is trying to hit in Lafferty from third base. Riley goes to the plate, swing down left field line, screaming ground ball, foul though. All right, count is 2-2 still.
So one thing I've always advocated for is at least a little bit of a hot
some hot mics on the coaches.
Some of the funniest things you ever hear is these coaches standing around on third. Probably don't want to hear some of it, but
strike three from Riley. Breaking ball, caught him. He was hesitating and swung a little bit too late. So it's a good strikeout for Riley. Gets some momentum back in this inning for the defense here. 1 down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, there's always a hard time when the breaking ball is coming in that braked, that slow. You kind of have a thought. You already set your feet. You're kind of ready, and you're like, well, I've still got time. I probably could swing.
Another breaking ball in for a strike. Now, number 0, E.J. Haggard, was ahead of that one. So kind of, 2 worlds there from this batter to the last batter. Now, I was talking to some of the players from Buckhorn. Apparently, Braden Campbell has an eephus that he can throw.
Oh.
Squirted over the bunt. Riley gets there, he going home.
Oh.
And the ball comes out of the glove, and he is safe at home. Runner is safe at first as well because there's no throw at first. So another run scores over for Betsy Layne. So now the score is 7-2 in the favor of Betsy Layne. Not a bad decision. Just couldn't get in the gloves.
Yeah.
Just couldn't get in there.
Yeah,
Bang, bang play. That just happens.
Yeah, this is very smart there by the batter. Noticing, the shift wasn't on. It had plenty of room. Laid down a good bunt there. Didn't go very far from the home plate and able to get the runner on in from scoring position.
Now, Parker Newsom's up for the Bobcats. Based on that bunt, runner on first, E.J. Haggard might have some wheels on him. So, we'll see if he takes the steal or not. Now, he didn't steal at the first pitch. It was in the dirt, so it counts 1-0. Riley comes set. Checks the runner, goes to plate. Now runner's going to second. Was a ball on the pitch. Ball is too late. Safe at second. So runner advances on a stolen base. So now we have a runner in second. 1 out. Counts 2-0. Riley gets a pitch call. Comes set. Goes to the plate. Breaking ball that started at the shoulders and broke right in to the zone. So the count is 2-1 now.
He's showing great movement on that breaking ball. Like I said, if you go, a freeze frame it and show where it starts at compared to where it crosses the plate.
Be a big difference there. Looks like another breaking ball from Riley. Looks like he's he's relying on his pitch a lot this inning. And it's been working out as far as I can tell. Now it counts 2-2. Runner on second, 1 out. Riley goes in. Fastball low. Batter had the golf swing and it's down in right field. Runner's going for second. He's round third. He's going home. Going 2. And he's safe. Right, so a double for Newsom here, who batted in Haggard here. So adds another run for Betsy Layne's lead. Now the score is 8-2 in favor of the Bobcats. Still only 1 out.
Yeah, I was covering home there with the camera. I figured they'd try to throw the ball home. Try to get the cut off there at second. Close play.
Real close, but he got in there safely. Smart base run by him to pick up the extra base. Now Riley comes to the plate. There's a bunt here. And, it goes fair. He let it roll fair. There we go. That's an out. Smart heads-up play by Riley. That ball landed foul, but it spun fair. Riley did not touch it, so it went fair to make it a fair ball. And gets the easy out at first base. That is a very heads-up play. Very smart play by Riley there. So now we have 2 down. Now the runner from second advances to third.
Yeah, I forgot to reset the outs. My bad, guys. There are currently 2 outs here in the top of the second.
Very heads-up play by Riley there. Now up to bat for the Bobcats, number 3, Aiden Morrison. Riley comes set, goes to the plate. Looks like a breaking ball low. Napier blocks it up. And this runner thought about it from the third going home. Then he stopped about halfway and came back. Didn't feel too comfortable going on that one.
Might have been a good idea as Napier had tried to run the ball down up the line. Mm-hmm. There was no one actually back at home to cover.
Right. Counts 1-0. Riley goes to the plate. Another breaking ball in the dirt. Blocked by Napier again. So the count is 2-0. With the amount of breaking balls that Riley has thrown, Napier is really getting his work in today. Riley comes set. Goes to the plate. Another breaking ball. Went into the zone, so the count is 2-1 now. So as of now, we have a runner on third. 2 outs. Count is 2-1. Riley comes set. Checks runner. Goes to the plate. Breaking ball. Breaks out of the plate. Batter swing. So the out count is 2-2.
You know, one of those half-hearted swings. He saw the ball moving after he'd already started to swing.
Didn't really want to swing at it, but he was already halfway through it, so he just finished it out. Riley comes set, goes to the plate. Breaking ball, bounces right back to Riley. Riley fields it, throws it to first for out number 3 in the inning. So, score for Betsy Layne is 8. Score for Buckhorn is 2. Extending their lead a little bit, just a little bit. Let's see if the Wildcats can bounce back in the bottom half of this inning and maybe cut into this lead like they did the last inning.
Like I said, we're going to kick it out. We'll be back here in 2 minutes on Bluegrass Sports Nation.
Go Time is a locally owned and operated convenience store that has all your wants and needs in one stop. We have everything from quick snacks and cool drinks, a full-service deli, fresh coffee bar, soft-serve ice cream, and milkshakes. Also, make sure to check out our Little Caesars pizzas. Go Time, where the customer always comes first. Refuel your tank, refill your cup, and refresh your taste buds all in one stop at Go Time.
There are buttons to button, snacks to prepare, math problems to help with, and boo-boos to kiss. If you have people who need you, you need life insurance. Talk to a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent about a policy that protects the ones you love. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
For over 100 years, Buckhorn Children and Family Services has been changing lives across Kentucky, providing compassionate care, healing, and hope to families in need. From addiction treatment to foster care, residential treatment, and more, our programs help families and individuals build strong, healthy futures. Whether it's through evidence-based treatment for children or life-changing support for adults, we're answering God's call to make a lasting impact. Join us in changing lives and restoring hope. Please visit buckhorn.org or send your support to Buckhorn Children and Family Services in Buckhorn, Kentucky. Together, we can build strong, thriving families.
All right, welcome back here. We're getting ready for the bottom half of the second inning. Now, up to bat for the Wildcats is Gunnar Gay, wearing number 2, playing in left field. All right, Brown goes to the windup, goes to the plate. A little outside, so the count's 1-0. Now, let's see if the Wildcats can replicate what they did in the bottom half of the first and get some momentum, chunk into the lead a little bit, and get some confidence back. Brown gets ready, goes to the plate. Strike. Look right down the pipe to me here. So the count's 1-1.
Yeah. In honor of the boss here, right down Westheimer.
Right down Westheimer. Brown goes to the windup, goes to the plate. Swing by Gay. He gets a slow dribbler. He's trying to run out first. And he is safe. Ball was in the dirt. First baseman couldn't handle it.
Yeah, pulled him off the bag there. Said, made a great attempt at the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than me. If I was stretched out that far, they'd be picking me up over there. So
yeah, I won't get back up. I had to be carted off the field if that happened to me. Like I said earlier this game, if you put the ball in play, good things will happen. Now, up to bat for the Wildcats is number 34, Cameron Miller, playing second base today. Brown comes set, checks on the runner, goes to the plate. Miller swings, misses. Catcher throws behind the runner to first to keep him at home, but Gay is safe at first.
the catcher's showing off his arm speed there.
Mm-hmm. Catcher's got some quick action back there. Brown comes set, goes to the plate. Strike. What was that count? 0-2? Was that first pitch struck? Yeah, he swung on that first pitch, didn't he?
Yeah. That's why I was waiting on you for confirmation of that, actually. So I was sitting here with nothing on the board. It's 0-2 count now.
Brown comes set, goes to the plate. Must be a little bit inside, a little high, so the count is 1-2.
Just great velocity, though, on these. You can hear the mitt popping.
I think Brown has gotten more velocity this second inning than he did the first inning. I think he's starting to loosen up a little bit. All right, Brown comes set. Checks the runner. Goes to the plate. Must be a little bit outside. Counts 2-2. Some pitchers are like that. Some pitchers, they get their best stuff first early, and some pitchers get stronger as they go. I think Brown's going to be one of those pitchers that gets stronger as he goes, as he gets more loose. All right, Brown comes set. Goes to the plate. Nice little pop-up down the right field line, and it goes foul. Miller battling to stay alive in this count here. Right now, we have 0 down, runner on first. Count is 2-2. Miller's batting in the 8th spot. Brown looks on. Gets the call. Comes set, checks the runner, throws to the plate. Breaking pitch, started at the shoulders, breaks into the zone, strike 3 for Brown.
That's one of those ones, man, it just breaks your heart. It's just like you're looking at it, you're like, that's way, uh-oh.
You're watching it, that's going to hit me. I'm just going to sit here and take it. Then it just breaks right in for strike 3, and then you go back to the dugout. Frustrate yourself that you not swing on that. All right, now at the bat, and the 9 hole for the Wildcats is Jody Stamper, we're number 3, and playing center field today. Brown comes set, goes to the plate. Stamper up there swinging first pitch, goes by him, strike 1.
Big cut by Stamper.
So count is 0-1. Be really good for the Wildcats to get Stamper on and advance the game because the top of the lineup was the ones that created those 2 runs in the last inning. All right, ball, counts 1-1. Catcher, as soon as he caught it, threw it straight to first base. Quick hands. He had intentions to do that before the pitch was even released.
I have a great respect for that. He was on his knees throwing that. You know, the catchers have the arm strength to be able to get that there without having to stand up.
All right, Brown comes set, goes to the plate. Foul tip, it sounds like. Strike 2 for Stamper. All right, so the count is 1-2, 1 down here. Got a runner on first. Brown looks on at the runner, comes set, goes to the plate. And it's a hit by pitch. So,
I'm not sure what it. I almost thought it almost hit the bat.
that was one of those weird ones where it hits in front of the players, so you don't know if it hit the bat, if it hit their arms. You don't know. It's one of those ones as an umpire, it's a judgment call to you. All right, so now, runners on first and second. Got the top of the lineup come back around for the Wildcats. Braden Campbell's up the bat. I think last time he hit a little single into left field. So Brown comes set. Goes to the plate. Strike 1. All right, so the count's 0-1. Brown has started ahead in this count. Always want to start ahead as a pitcher. Now Brown looks at both runners. Gets the pitch call. Gets set. Goes to the plate. Breaking ball had Campbell way out ahead of it. Foul tip. Counts 0-2 now.
Kudos Campbell just be able to kind of check up enough to get the bat there and keep the bat there. He was going to be way ahead of the pitch.
Looked like to me he was already running out of the box by the time he's going to hit that. Campbell is a lefty, and you can –
maybe you just try a new slap bunt or something.
Slap bunt. Put down this left field line. Everybody be safe. Brown comes set. Up 0-2. I'll be assuming there'll be some breaking ball action coming in here. And Brown steps off to keep the runners safe, or keep the runners at home. All right. Runners on first, second. 1 out still. Counts 0-2. If I had to be a bet man, I'd bet there'll be some off-speed coming. Probably low in the dirt. Goes to the plate. Off-speed broke right into the zone.
Got Campbell looking.
Backwards K. So now there's 2 down. Runners on first and second still. Now we have the pitcher, Austin Riley, coming up the bat. Now last time he hit one a little bit in the gap. He hit it to the right field line, didn't he? And picked up 2 bases on that. Let's see if he can keep it going. Brown comes set. Goes to the plate, low in the dirt, and the runners stay. Good block by the catcher there.
This catcher quick reflexes. I said keep the base runners from being able to advance.
If I had to be assuming, I feel like this catcher's been doing this for a little bit. He looks natural back there. Now Brown gets a pitch call. Looks to runners. Comes set. Goes to the plate. Rally, swings, gets some contact on, but it's a foul ball straight back. So the count is 1-1 now. Now this is where the chess game can come into effect here in baseball. As a batter here, if I was in the batter's box, I would be assuming there's going to be a breaking ball. Now, pitcher might think that you're going to think breaking ball and throw you one high inside and have you looking dumb and swing on it. Brown comes set. Goes to the plate. Breaking ball. Riley hits a slow dribbler up the third baseline. Pitcher handles it and throws it first for the out. So that is the third out of the inning. No runs across the plate for the Wildcats. So the score is still
8-2.
8-2.
Yeah, like I said, now we were talking about this in the first inning. You know, the momentum is still all the way with the Bobcats. They were able to get 3 runs there in the second inning. So, like I said, if they can get a few more on, extend this lead, you know, maybe it'll take some of the wind out of the Wildcats. Well, we're going to take another quick commercial break here between innings. We're going to be about 90 seconds. We'll be back on BSN.
Hi, I'm attorney David Johnson. You may recognize me from some of our other ads, but injuries from an auto accident are no joking matter. With over 25 years of experience, our offices have the resources and expertise to go head-to-head with big insurance. While most of our cases get resolved without going to court, trust me, they know if the attorney you choose will take it this far. Either way, our clients get paid. So for all your legal needs, get the pros on your side.
See the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London, or Somerset.
So yeah, we've hit that time of year. Time to think about saving money. You know, the season of saving and upgrading at Appalachian Wireless. How about a brand new iPhone 13 for just a penny? iPhone 13 128 gig for a penny with a mix and match or unlimited plan. Terms and conditions do apply. Just visit AppalachianWireless.com for details. So let's do some saving and upgrading because we are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
All right. Welcome back here to Buckhorn. We're getting ready to set off for the top of the third inning. Looks like the Wildcats have made a pitching change. It looks like Parker Mayhew is coming on the bump for the Wildcats. Now, the way they're shifting this, Riley is going to center field, it looks like. Cameron Miller is going to right field. Caleb McIntosh is middle to second. And Jody Stamper's going in the short. And everybody else is staying the same. So a lot of adjustments there. See if this new adjustment gives a little life to the Wildcats.
Well, we talked to Coach Stidham, you know, quite often, and he was talking about shaking things up a little bit. You know, some of these, like some of the players are a little complacent, arm strength issues. You know, talking about moving people around, give them all an opportunity, kind of see what they got, let them earn their spots.
Hey, one of the hardest things about coaching, especially in baseball, where you have 9 positions to fill, is finding who fits where the best. And what lineup fits you the best. And those lineups can change depending on who's on the mound. You know, I was in high school, we had a pitcher who, when he wasn't the fastest pitcher, he didn't have much strike and stuff, but when he pitched was our best lineup because we had the best fielding lineup at the time. So when you put your faster pitchers, the pitcher's a little bit more off speed, a little bit more, stuff you can use while pitching. It hurt us a little bit because our defensive lineup wasn't as good. So it's baseball's a weird game. Major leagues, you got your 9 guys who's going to play, or 8 guys that's going to play the field every game, and you got your 5 pitchers, and you got 20 pitchers in the bullpen, whatever you got there. High school's a little different because depending on who's pitching can change the whole dynamic of your lineup. And as a high school player, you have to be ready for each one of those dynamics.
As Mayhew has pitched the count full here.
as I ramble on about the inner networking.
Well, I mean, it's a complicated game.
It is.
You know, you talk about baseball, it's got a whole different aspect. It's ball 4, as the runner will take first. There's so much mental, goes into baseball. Basketball, obviously, in football you do too, but so many nuances when you're base running, when you're pitching, catching, batting. You have to be trying to outthink the other person constantly. So
basketball's a lot of matchups. You usually start the same 5 guys. You might have a guy you switch in and out, but you could play a team who might be just taller or faster than you, and it's just a bad matchup. Or you can be taller and faster than another team. It would be a bad matchup for them. In baseball, there is no such thing as being taller and faster than the other team. It's can you pitch it, can you get on the plate, and can you hit the ball? That stands true for
it. Does help in some things, like I said, reach of the bat, getting the first, but eventually you got to stop.
Yeah.
So I guess the biggest difference is, that if you have that one just superb, super all-star, they have to wait their turn. They're not going to be able to, like in basketball, get the ball back the next play and get it back in their hands. If they smack a home run, well, they go around. They got to wait 8 more times, and they'll get to try again.
Now, as Coach Still was asking for confirmation whether it's a pinch runner or a courtesy runner, as Les Hamilton's the one got walked, and they got a runner for him. Typically, a courtesy runner comes on for a pitcher or a catcher. Now, I'm not 100% sure in the ruling, but you might have the ability to have a courtesy runner for anybody, but usually everybody does it for pitcher and catcher just to get them in and out of the dugout quicker or keeps them from getting hurt while they're on the field. But now, up the bat for the Bobcats is number 2, Kane Brown, the pitcher. No outs. Runner's going first, second, ball's in the dirt, gets by Napier a little bit, so there's going to be no throw to second base. So, good base running by the Bobcats there.
We've seen that often tonight. Bad timing for Napier. A lot of times,
timing.
when they're doing the runs, if the ball's in the dirt, he's not had an opportunity to kind of, jump up and try to get the throw down to second.
If a catcher's getting, stoned on a lot of people think the catcher's to blame all the time. Well, there's a lot of things going in that. Sometimes, your pitch placement, or if it's in the dirt. If it's in the dirt, it's about impossible to throw it unless you just got an absolute cannon, So, it's just a lot of things. Again, one of those things with all these nuances in baseball that makes it so complicated sometimes. Granted up to third, fielded by Rice, throws to the first, and he is safe. The batter ran out to throw from third to first. So Brown, it reaches safely on an infield single, and the run for second advances to third.
Rice fielded the ball cleanly. Looks like he just took a half second too long on letting that throw loose.
This is Rice's second year playing baseball, maybe. First full year, maybe. That's things you learn as you get more comfortable, as you get more experience under your belt, how to release the ball faster, how to get it over to, especially if you ain't got the strongest arm, you have to find a way to get it over there quick, out of your hand quicker. That's Mayhew. Does a pickoff attempt towards first base that keeps the runner at home a little bit at bay.
Yeah, but looking at the speed though on first base, that runner has quite a lot of speed. Most people in the region would have been out on that throw.
Mayhew goes to the plate, runner from first is going to second, ball in the dirt again, so be no attempt to throw to second. So runner advances from first to second. Now we have runners on second and third with no outs. And it looks like the Bobcats are repeating what they've done the first 2 innings. Get on base, steal.
Yeah, like I said, not too many big hits by the Bobcats. Playing small ball here, being smart baseball, advancing the runners. And
he fakes the bump, pulls back, hits up into the outfield. Might bloop in between right and center field. It gets down. Run for third scores, and run for second advances to third. So the Bobcats tag on another run to their lead to make it 9-2.
Riley came in hard there from center and made the sliding attempt just a hair late. Still able to knock the ball down, though, so it didn't get rolling all over the outfield and got it in quickly.
Baseball is complicated. A lot of things go into it. Day like today, pitcher from first goes to second on a design hit and run. Batter gets it through the gap, scores one, run from third. The run from first advances all the way to third because he was already moving. And that was a perfectly placed hit by number 44, Cole Lafferty, on that hit and run. Second baseman came over to cover the bag on the steal, and it left a huge gap between first and second, and he hit it right into that huge gap to allow the runner from first to get to third and the runner from third to score. Perfectly executed. Here goes play. First is going to second, and no throw down to second base. So, with that runner crossing on that previous play, the score now is 10-2 in the favor of the Bobcats. Now at the bat for the Bobcats is number 24, Eli Gerald. And if I mispronounce it, I am very sorry. Here goes to plate. Low in the dirt. Counts 2-0.
We've watched Mayhew pitch some great games this year. That's just same thing, I guess, as and I went my blank in center field. Riley is the beginning of the game, working on the control, getting started up.
Gerald gets contact, and he goes way out of play, left field, probably on Highway 28 there. Mm-hmm. Be a souvenir for a passing car.
Yeah, so Mayhew, getting dialed in here. Still got good velocity. You've seen the break on his ball. It's just not got it, dialed in perfectly yet.
And baseball is weird. Some people like it warm, some people like it cold. This cold weather might be a factor, especially with the bat, or the balls coming off the bats. Mayhew goes to the plate, throws it behind the batter, gets past Napier, and the run from third goes home to score. Run from second advances to third. So the Bobcats take another run and make it 11-2. Now, with this colder air, a lot of these guys are making good contact, but they really ain't going far. This colder air is a little more denser, and it's not letting the ball fly. If we was up on top of the mountain, like they have at Coors Field there, you can hit one and it might travel an extra 50 feet for you. I think I might tell Coach Steele we need to make one on top of the mountain and get some home run balls going.
I think Alice Lloyd comes to mind.
Yeah. Another quick grounder to third base. Rice fields it clean, throws it first, and that's an out. But the runner from third scores. Looks like we have some words there. Looks like
the runner and the catcher may have collided.
But that's another run scored for the Bobcats, so the score is 12-2 now in favor of the Bobcats.
Yeah, showing the demeanor of Napier there at the plate. Looks like some of the fans were a lot more upset about it than Napier. He just kind of got up, dusted himself off.
I didn't have my eyes at home plate. I was watching the play at first, but I'm going to assume there was nothing intentional about that. As a catcher, sometimes you come out in front of the plate, to watch the play happen, or maybe again the plate. Maybe there's a play at home, and maybe he just ran into it. Attempted bunt by number 0, E.J. Haggard. Excuse me there. Misses it, so the count is 0-1.
Yeah, it goes back to my son played out of position last year, went home to cover, stood on the plate, and was duly knocked off the plate the next little bit there. So sometimes you're just in the wrong position. Yeah. The runner has that path.
Somebody who comes to the plate was in the dirt, so the count's 1-1. I've been there many times. I caught a lot of games in my career, and one of the earliest things I had to learn the hard way was if there's no play at home, get off the plate. Mayhew goes to the plate. A nice rip. Gets under the glove at shortstop and gets into left field there. And the ball's back in. Runner is safe at first. So, that was a single by E.J. Haggard. Now, we have one down currently. Score is 12-2. We have a new batter coming up, number 19, Parker Newsome. We have a Parker on Parker matchup here. Mayhew goes to the plate. Runner from first is going to second. Get it out cleanly. Runner beat it in time. So it's a stolen base for Haggard there. Runner on second now.
Good throw by Napier. So just the wrong side of the bag.
Mm-hmm. Just on the wrong side of the bag. Got one down here in the top of the third. Mayhew comes set. Goes to the plate. Ball low. Runner stays at second. Now the count is...
I missed the first. I was waiting on you.
I think it was 2-0. I think it was the first one was ball. We'll see if the umpire shows the sign. Nope.
A lot of times it's hard to catch that sign when you've got somebody streaking from first to second.
It sure is. Runner's going from second to third, stealing. Napier gets it down. Rice mishandles it, gets into the outfield. Gunner gets it, goes home with it. Good throw, just not on time. All right, so the runner's safe at home now. So the Bobcats tag on to their lead. Now the score is 13-2.
Good throw by Gay from left.
That was on a rope, just a little late.
Yeah, Napier didn't have to move. So it was a great throw. So just good base running there, good quick speed, got in there.
Right. So no runners on. Count is at strike 3 in the dirt. Miss bobbled right there, and that is a throw down for Napier to Campbell for the second out of the inning. I couldn't remember what the count is, but as soon as I saw the runner go, it was strike 3.
Yeah, I'd lost count as well on that one. So there's a lot going on there. Foul tips, there, balls in the dirt.
That's why I need that scored up there so I can remind myself what it is. Probably that a lot of people lose count too. Let's keep it.
And we was up there, I was calling, doing a game, broadcasting a game, and I kept looking over the scoreboard. I kept looking at my scoreboard on the screen. I was like, okay.
Now, up to bat for the Bobcats is number 15, Canyon Sloan. Right? Mayhew gets the first pitch in the dirt, so the count starts out 1-0. Biggest thing that you want to do as a pitcher is just start ahead and get it over the plate. Mayhew goes to the windup, goes to the plate, swing and a miss, so the count is 1-1. Let's go back to what I was saying earlier. The Wildcats in the bottom of the first, he got 2 or 3 hits off the first pitch of the count. Usually the pitcher wants to throw one a strike first pitch of the count, give himself a little room, a little breathing room. That's why I always swung on the first pitch because it was always the best pitch he's going to get. Now the count's 1-1. Mayhew goes to the plate. Little high, so the count is 2-1. Sun has fully went down behind the trees. No sun poking through. Going to chill off a little bit tonight. Mayhew goes to the plate. Swing, a little pop up to first base. Handled by Campbell, sliding on his knees. Good play for the third out of the top third. Bobcats add on to their lead. The score is 13-2. Let's see if the Wildcats can bounce back or the Bobcats can just keep on this lead and keep adding in the fourth inning.
Yeah, so there's a big moment here. You see if the Wildcats can fight back and just chip away at this a little bit, keep this game alive. We're going to kick it out for a quick commercial break. We'll be back in 2 minutes on Bluegrass Sports Nation.
At People's Bank and Trust of...
At Hazard Community and Technical College, you are more than just a number. With our low faculty to student ratio, you'll get the personal attention and support you need to succeed. Our dedicated faculty is here to guide you every step of the way, helping you reach your goals in a community that cares. Choose HCTC. We'll never underestimate you. Call us at 606-487-3293 to learn more.
Go Time is a locally owned and operated convenience store that has all your wants and needs in one stop. We have everything from quick snacks and cool drinks, a full-service deli, fresh coffee bar, soft-serve ice cream, and milkshakes. Also, make sure to check out our Little Caesars pizzas. Go Time, where the customer always comes first. Refuel your tank, refill your cup, and refresh your taste buds all in one stop at Go Time.
There are buttons to button, snacks to prepare, math problems to help with, and boo-boos to kiss. If you have people who need you, you need life insurance. Talk to a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent about a policy that protects the ones you love. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
100 years, Buckhorn Children and Family Services has been changing lives across Kentucky, providing compassionate care, healing, and hope to families in need. From addiction treatment to foster care, residential treatment, and more, our programs help families and individuals build strong, healthy futures. Whether it's through evidence-based treatment for children or life-changing support for adults, we're answering God's call to make a lasting impact. Join us in changing lives and restoring hope. Please visit buckhorn.org or send your support to Buckhorn Children and Family Services in Buckhorn, Kentucky. Together, we can build...
All right, we're in the bottom of the third inning here. Coming up the bat for the Wildcats is the new pitcher now that came in the last inning is Parker Mayhew. Brown is still on the bump for the Bobcats. He's been wheeling and dealing, so I wouldn't send him down until it felt like he wasn't anymore.
Yeah, he's one of those pitchers that it said the difference between the beginning of the game and now, it seems like he's actually gotten stronger, more velocity on the ball.
Mine got loose. They got here a little late. Didn't have much time to loosen up, so maybe it's getting in his favor. Little zip right there. Count 0-2. Swing and a miss by Mayhew. He's picking up some velocity, and his breaking ball is starting to find the zone, especially in that last inning. He had 2 strikeouts, I think backwards K's by just breaking into the zone. Brown getting ready for the pitch call. I would assume a breaking ball here. Goes in the windup, goes to the plate, breaking ball.
He was talking about Campbell there, was struck out last inning by that breaking ball, and he's usually one of the more patient, good-eyed batters for the Wildcats. So it fooled him. It was a good ball.
Now, as a lefty going against the right-hander, those curveballs can sneak in on you because they're breaking into you. So and those outside corners, it'll ring you up there. Brown goes to the windup, goes to the plate. Another breaking ball in the dirt, counts 2-2.
Yeah, just kind of throwing it throwing it low. If he's going to be able to make contact, he's going to try to get a ground ball out of it, but not giving him anything he can really get good contact on.
Goes to the windup. Goes to the plate.
Ooh.
Outside. That is a full count.
He come with the heater, just missed outside.
Too close to comfort for me. I would have been swinging just to keep myself alive right there. But good discipline by Mayhew there to make the count full. Brown gets set. Goes through his windup. Goes to the plate. Swing. It's a high lofted pop-up to left field. Left fielder catches it for the first out of the inning. Now, that's probably the longest ball's been hit today. Problem with that was went straight to left field, and sometimes it happens like that.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of ground out there in the outfield. Some of these ballparks around the region. But if you hit it right at them, it doesn't matter how much ground there is, so they don't have to cover it.
That left fielder could have sat down crisscross applesauce, so it landed in his glove. Didn't have to move an inch. Now at the bat for the Wildcats, Napier. Brown goes to his windup, goes to the plate. Up high, but a swing and a miss by Napier, so the count's 0-1.
High heat coming in on Napier there.
I remember being in high school, hitting the ball real good, solid contact, but for about 3 or 4 games in a row, it went straight to a fielder every single time. That's the most frustrating ones. Swing and a miss by Napier, so the count is 0-2. Too high. 2 straight pitches high in the numbers. But those are the ones that everybody likes to swing on because you think you can hit them. Now Brown getting set on in. Goes to the windup. Goes to the plate. Strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout for Brown. Don't think that was a fastball. That might have been a changeup. Had a little less velocity, but not as much breakage. Full to Napier there. Napier's a little bit ahead of it. So, 2 outs down for the Wildcats. Now at the bat for the Wildcats, number 35, Braden Rice. So Braden Rice has played a really good defensive game. Maybe a couple misjudged balls, but he's been blocking everything up. And a good eye there. So the count starts at 1-0.
Yeah, the only thing we've had to say about Rice bad looks, it was that half a second late on the throw, but he was a great defensive play to get in front of it and field it clean.
He's been really good at the hot corner. That's one of the hardest places to play. Brown goes to the plate. Swing at the little slow dribbler down the first base line. First baseman grabs it and steps on the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Wildcats go 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 3rd. The score is 13-2 in favor of the Bobcats as we approach the top of the 4th inning. Quick inning.
Yeah, very quick. Like I said, we're talking about, still dealing there on the mound. And that quick of an inning, this extends the game for him. So, don't have to worry about pitch count as much now. Been able to get through so quickly. We're going to kick it out for about 90 seconds, and we'll be right back here for the top of the 4th on Bluegrass Sports Nation.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
The Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance wants to inform the general public that Little Flower Clinic is a full-service medical clinic available for everyone. We accept most major insurances like the one your employer provides and Medicaid. Little Flower has an experienced staff of medical professionals providing all types of services from general physicians, mental health services, dental, chronic disease case management, and even chiropractic. We have on-site x-ray and laboratory services. Little Flower Clinic, everyone's medical home in the mountains.
Hi, I'm attorney David Johnson. You may recognize me from some of our other ads, but injuries from an auto accident are no joking matter. With over 25 years of experience, our offices have the resources and expertise to go head-to-head with big insurance. While most of our cases get resolved without going to court, trust me, they know if the attorney you choose will take it this far. Either way, our clients get paid. So for all your legal needs, get the pros on your.
All right, folks, welcome back here. Right as we approach the top half of the fourth inning. Now, the Wildcats have made another pitching change. It looks like Jody Stamper is getting on the bump. So now, with that pitching change, we have some of the infield and outfield changed around. Stamper goes from short to pitcher. McIntosh goes from second back to short where he started at today. Miller is back at second where he started at today, back from right field, and Parker Mayhew goes back to right field where he started today.
So pretty much the only change we've had now is center fielder.
The center fielder, yeah, it's the only change we had now.
Yeah, from the beginning of the game, center fielder has switched with pitcher, and that's where we're at.
Who's on first? What's on second, you know?
Who? Oh.
All right.
Just showed our age a little bit there. A lot of people, if your younger viewer was on there, they would not understand, I'm assuming.
No, not one bit. But if I was to say skibbity or brain rot, they would instantly know what I mean by that.
Oh, I love it. That's yeah, he's having a young son, trying to figure out what in the world skibbity toilet is not the funnest thing ever, but something I need to do, I guess, to try to keep up.
I'm fortunate enough to be teaching to where I hear that stuff every day. The new craze, at least in my classroom, is not skibbity. What is the skibbity?
So,
I tell my students, we speak English here.
Yeah.
We speak English here. All right, so Stamper starts out the count with the ball high. So the count is 1-0 to number 6, who is not in my start lineup. Caden Thacker. Caden Tackett, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, Caden Tackett up here for the first at-bat of the game. Let's see what he can do.
This is a shout out to all my middle school and high school teachers out there. They were talking about that language change. You got to be well-versed.
And that is a strike. Now, the count is 2-1, I believe. I've been talking too much about brain rot and TikTok, and gets me all confused now.
Yeah, my wife loved it. Every time I'd come home, I'd teach her some new words.
Stamper goes to the plate. Looked a little, maybe inside the way the batter turned his shoulder. So the count is 3-1 now. Can't really tell from this angle, and I'm blind as a bat at the same time, so not a good combo. Stamper goes to the plate. In there for a strike, so the count is 4.
You clip the top of the zone there.
So as a batter, you want to try to battle anything close, stay alive. Stamper goes to the plate. Look high and outside as ball force, and runner advances to first.
Yeah, it's coming in, like I said, cool evening here, coming in. First, run the count full. Runner will advance first on the walk.
So this is the first at bat for number 12. What? Sean Gerald. Okay. Sean Gerald must be either the brother to Eli Gerald or cousin, you know.
I've seen some lineups with 4 and 5 of the same name. So
runner goes from first to second, gets past the catcher, so he is up standing without even a play. So.
Ball 1, runner advanced. Pass ball.
I've seen lineups full of Combses and Napiers and Fugits, and not one of them be a brother to each other, but be first cousins or second cousins, or not even be related to each other. That's just how it goes around here.
Yeah, some very common names around this area.
Stamper gets set, goes, getting ready to go to the plate. Checks the runner 2-3 times, goes to the plate. Looks like Gerald's trying to put a bunt down. Runner gets a hefty secondary lead, about halfway between second and third, but decides to go back. So, counts 1-1. no outs. Talking about last names, I have a very unique last name to this area. Blank, B-L-A-N-K. And everybody asks me if I'm kin to Andy Blank or Jacob Blank or Scott Blank. And I'm like, that's a strike for a Stamper there. Counts 1-2. And I'm always tempted to say, how many Blanks do you know in this area? Like, you're probably right if I'm kin to them.
You never know. Yeah. That's what I said. I'm married to a Trent, and I was talking to some people the other day, and similar names out of Knott County. I was like, yeah, I don't think they're related.
That's a ball high, so it counts 2-2.
So, like I said, yes, names all over the region. Like I said, some are more common, obviously, than others.
Mm-hmm. Right, Jody gets the pitch call. Or Stamper, excuse me. Goes to the plate. Ball outside. So it counts 3-2.
Yeah, another full count.
Call these guys by their first name because I got about majority of them in the classroom, so I'm used to calling them by. But funny story about the last name. My mother, who first started teaching, the principal at the time, strike 3 for Stamper. That is 1 down. Good pitch for Stamper there. The principal wanted to order nameplates for everybody to put on their desk. Well, he got everybody's last names or whatever. And so when they all came in, he's like, here's yours. And there was nothing on it. So
I thought this was where we'd go with this.
There was nothing on it. So he had to call the company and say, you did misprint. They're like, no, you told us to leave it blank. And he was like, no, their last name is blank, B-L-A-N-K. And they're like, that's the wildest thing I've heard. So she finally got one that had her last name on it. But it's always a funny story to tell because we spelled exactly like a blank piece of paper. Stamper looks back 2 or 3 times, goes to the plate. Looked like a breaking ball action that broke to the outside of the plate. This is my story. I've lost count.
1-1.
Is it 1-1? 1-1. Now we got 1 down, runner on second. No runs have crossed the plate yet, so the score is still 13-2. Stamper comes set, goes to the plate. Maybe a little low and outside, so the count is 2-1. Game's slowing down a little bit. Stamper takes his time. Checks the runner. Goes to the plate. Ball in there for it's a strike, so the count is 2-2.
Like I said, always talking about rhythm. Every time there's a pitching change, as a batter, you have to try to figure that out. Do they have a long setup?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a long stride? Arm placement. It's always so much to think about as a batter. You got to try to get used to every new pitcher.
Stamper comes set, checks on the runner, goes to the plate. Ball is put in play. Looks like it may drop down. Runner's going for second to third. Holds up at third. Want to get it in quickly. Don't think Riley had a chance to get a play on her, but he got it in quick enough to save a run. So runners in the corners now. 1 out still. Coming to the bat for the Bobcats is number 27, Connor Joe Johnson. That was Caden Brown with the hit just then. Pitching so much rhythm. Some pitchers like to pitch fast. Some pitchers like to go slow. When I pitch, I always try to get as fast as possible so I didn't have to think about it and get off the field. I did not throw gas. I threw nothing but curveballs, and if they got on me too, if they got on me, they got on me. So I just try to get out as quickly as possible. Stamper goes to the plate. Runner goes from first to second. No attempt. So the runner's on second and third now. Got 1 out. Counts 1-0 with Johnson up at the plate.
When I think about rhythm pitchers, we've covered Breathitt County sports for a long time. As Isaac Bellamy was one of the greats down there for years, and once he got in his rhythm, you didn't have much time. Once it got back to the mound.
Good pitch by Stamper. Got it by Johnson there, so the count is 1-1 now.
Yeah, once it got back to the mound, Bellamy was making a decision and getting ready. So you had to kind of, as a batter, you had to kind of fight through that. Always be ready in the box.
Stamper comes set, looks at the runners, looks at him again, goes to the plate, low and outside for a ball. So the count is 2-1 now. A lot of pitchers have routines. I think baseball might be the most superstitious sport there is possible. I think my routine was every time I got the ball back, I would stroked or like brushed the brim of my hat before I would throw any pitch. That is high and lifted up. That is deep in left field, over the left fielder's head. Looks like run from third is scoring. Run for second is going around third base, going home, and the ball is late. So that is 2 runs scored off a double by Johnson there. So the Wildcats extend their lead to 15-2. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mayhew, I said last inning, hit the longest one I've seen all day. Johnson has topped that and has went further. Both in the same spot, but one was just deeper than the other.
Like I said, if you look at the run counts versus hits for Betsy Layne, this is small ball to, glorious fashion. 15 runs, 8 hits. Now, some of that was fielder's choice and certain things like that. The ball was hit hard. May have, like I said, different situations happen, but whenever you just get runners on base, using as a walk and being able to advance them through stealing, small ball can win.
Stamper goes to the plate. Start the count off is low in the dirt, so count is 1-0. So at the bat now is number 44, Cole Lafferty for the Bobcats.
Lafferty with some good hits today. He said makes good contact on the ball.
Got some power behind him. Stamper goes to the plate. And he rips it into in between left and center field in the gap. Looks like it's going to roll all the way to the fence. Run for second is going to score. Lafferty is on his high horse, getting a second for a stand-up double. Now, that was a good, clean, powerful hit to the fence.
I was talking about earlier, some of those good, powerful hits were hit dead at the outfielders. The last 2 in over the left fielder's head and into the gap, able to advance the runners and get some runs in for the Bobcats.
Lafferty saw Johnson and said, I can do better than that, and put it into the gap all the way to the fence, and he sure did. Now, score 16-2 now. We have number 24, Eli Gerald, coming up for the Bobcats. Runner on second, still only 1 out. Stamper goes to the plate. Ball outside, counts 1-0. Stamper comes set, goes to the plate. Strike in there, so it counts 1-1. Going back to names. Fun fact, my wife has the same first name as I do. So we're both legally Shannon Blank. And that causes a lot of confusion.
I would think so.
Not with the family, but with just outsiders. Okay. Strike by Stamper there, so the count is 1-2. Swing and a miss for Gerald. Now, what I mean by that is that, I coach, and a lot of coaches try to reach out to me and schedule games or, have conversations. They always message my wife. They never message me. And that is good strike 3 call for Stamper right on the inside corner. Good pitch. Now that's 2 down for the inning, for the top half of the inning. Way to battle back here. If y'all don't know, in high school baseball, they changed this rule a couple years ago. Before the 5th inning, if you have a 15-run or more lead, the game can be called. Now, the Wildcats, obviously, where the home team will have a chance to get within 15. But right now, it is a 14-run lead. And for the Wildcats to have not as much pressure next inning, you want to keep it at that 14-run lead. So that was a really big out here for Stamper to get up that strikeout. So up to bat now for the Bobcats is number 0, E.J. Haggard. And the count is 2-0. We'll go back to that. They always mention my wife, and she's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, tell them to message me.
They tried. They messaged Shannon Blank.
It also helped that both our profile. And a hit by pitch right in the score in the back there. So that's a free base for the batter. So now we have runners on first and second. Still got 2 down with number 19, Parker Newsom, coming up the bat.
You see, go back to that strikeout. Had such a big difference in the feel of the inning because once you have the 2 outs, you just need to worry about the batter.
Just worry about the batter. Make the easy out. Right now we got runner on first and second. So really in the infield, you have an 80 place. If Rice gets the ball at third base, he can just step on the bag. The guys in the middle infield, as they get pull close to second base, they can step on the bag or maybe toss it over. Nice, easy outs here. Stamper comes set, goes to the plate. We got a runner going from second to third. He gets dirty, and he is safe. A swing and miss at the plate. All right, so the runner safe at third. Got runners on the corners now. But there's a swing and miss at the plate, so the count's 0-1. It looked like Lafferty, when he got up there, looked to be a little bit in pain. I don't know if it was.
He came in head first. You know, it's always a hard, rough thing to do, coming head first. Hands are always a danger zone.
Runner from first is going to second. Call his ball at the plate, so it counts 1-1. Runner advances to second, no throw. So now we have runners on second and third. As we were talking about earlier, or I was saying earlier, where runners on first, second, you had forces everywhere. Now your play is at first base, so it makes it a little more difficult. All right, there's a ball outside, so the count is 2-1 now. That slide had to hurt. It's been wet. It's cold. This ain't going to be no favorable brick dust for you to slide on. Stamper goes to the plate. Ball outside, so the count is 3-1.
He's missed all of those right in the same spot, just off the edge of the plate there outside.
Trying to get him chasing. Doesn't want to put it in play. Doesn't want to give him a hit. Stamper goes to the plate. Foul tip. Straight back out of play. Hopefully it didn't hit my vehicle. It's a good thing I got insurance on that thing.
Yeah, I pulled up today and all my good hiding spots were taken, so I parked way over next to the gym. And baseball is one of those sports, it's kind of danger zone.
Now we got a full count here. Very pivotal moment in this inning. Stamper goes to the plate.
Ball four.
Looked like off speed that didn't break. Got away from him. That was ball 4. Batter advances the first. Now we have bases juiced. 2 outs. Now this is it seems like a very stressful situation, but it's a very favorable situation as a pitcher because there's a force anywhere. Home, third, second, first. As long as you keep it in the infield, it should be an out.
Yeah. Funny story about, hitting a vehicle. What's the young man this year? Only car I've been seen hit was, as we see this pitch, and I'll give you the rest of the story.
Stamper goes to the plate. Swing and a miss for strike 1. 0-1 is the count.
So only seen one vehicle hit this year. Young man roped one straight down first base line, just over the fence, and it just happened to be his girlfriend's dad's vehicle. Ooh. So good impressions there.
Ball low, so the count's 1-1 now.
So all the other cars and all the other places, he had to choose that one.
That's rough. That's rough. That'd be a hard conversation later. Might put him in the doghouse, and it was, he had no control over it.
Well, that rear left fender did not look pretty, let's be honest.
Second pitch is in the dirt, gets by Napier. Run from third, comes in the score at home. So now the score is 17-2 in favor of the Bobcats. Count is 2-1. And there's a runner going from third to home because someone's covering it. And it is out. They recovered quick enough to get him out of there. So that's the third out of the inning. Score 17-2.
Yeah, so we will go into the bottom of the fourth here with the Wildcats down by the 15-run limit we talked about.
Yep.
So if the inning does end and the 15-run lead is holding, the game will be over. See if they can get their bats alive. Like I said, the first inning, man, it looked like they were going to have a good day. But since then, have gone cold.
Yes.
So just get some of this magic and get a rally going here for Buckhorn. We'll find that out after the break. We'll be back here in 2 minutes on Bluegrass Sports Nation.
For over 100 years, Buckhorn Children and Family Services has been changing lives across Kentucky, providing compassionate care, healing, and hope to families in need. From addiction treatment to foster care, residential treatment, and more, our programs help families and individuals build strong, healthy futures. Whether it's through evidence-based treatment for children or life-changing support for adults, we're answering God's call to make a lasting impact. Join us in changing lives and restoring hope. Please visit buckhorn.org or send your support to Buckhorn Children and Family Services in Buckhorn, Kentucky. Together, we can build strong, thriving families.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
The Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance wants to inform the general public that Little Flower Clinic is a full-service medical clinic available for everyone. We accept most major insurances like the one your employer provides and Medicaid. Little Flower has an experienced staff of medical professionals providing all types of services from general physicians, mental health services, dental, chronic disease case management, and even chiropractic. We have on-site x-ray and laboratory services. Little Flower Clinic, everyone's medical home in the mountains.
All right, welcome back. We're in the bottom half of the fourth inning here. Now, Brown is still on the mound for the Bobcats because he is wheeling and dealing. Now, to lead off this inning, we have Caleb McIntosh for the Buckhorn Wildcats.
I mean, Brown has just been killing it tonight. The speed's still there. The control's still there.
Swing and a miss by McIntosh, so the count is 0-1. Last inning, I think Brown went 3 up, 3 down. Maybe a strikeout and a couple of, ground outs, maybe a fly out. I can't really remember. My memory's a little hazy, but he went 3 up, 3 down. It was a good inning by Brown. He probably wants to replicate that this inning. Now, Caleb McIntosh makes some contact, a little pop-up behind the first baseman, but second baseman's there to get it out for the first out of the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, just got underneath that one, and that's one of those ones as a batter you're just hoping you actually didn't get enough of it. It just kind of dies. But that one hung up there too long. Second baseman had to recover the ground and get the out.
Looks like the Bobcats are calling time, and it looks like they're going to make a pitching change. Now, the only thing I could think of is that they are putting him on a pitch count, trying to save his arm a little bit maybe for another game later this week because he might be their ace or he might be one of their better pitchers, and they want to have him just in case they need him for a different team.
Yeah, and for those of you, like I said, we're talking about, I hate keep beating a dead horse. There's so much to think about with baseball.
Yes, there is.
With the pitch count, if you go over a certain amount, you're available after a certain amount of days.
Yes.
Is the easiest way to say that. So, he may have been within 1 or 2 pitches of going over the count, so they're going to pull him quickly. Like I said, free him up later in the week for more opportunities.
Which, with this weather forecast coming in, I don't know how many games are going to get in this week.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
Better be safe than sorry.
It looks pretty bad, yeah. It looks like a lot of rain coming in the next couple days. We're in a different situation here in Eastern Kentucky. Is a lot of people still – PTSD is a real thing around here when it comes to rain. We've seen so much water. It's so recent. In the last 2 and 3 years, it just seems like we keep getting floods.
Had that big flood in 22. Then we had flooding earlier this year in the middle of January. Then it snowed after that. Hopefully we get to a time where we get a period of about 20 years where we don't have anything major happen.
Yeah, that's what in Breathitt County down there in 2021 they said it was once in a lifetime flood, and then 22 we got the once in a lifetime flood, and it's like it's that's a quick lifetime.
I've spent many lifetimes according to these floods.
Yeah, so it's a quick turnaround. Like I said, it just seems like it keeps happening. Like I said, we pray for everyone that's maybe still dealing with some of that situation, and just like I said, the rain's coming in. We just hope it kind of takes its time and falls. If we get 4 or 5 inches over a couple of days, it's a whole lot different than getting that in 6 hours.
And everybody got affected differently in different floods. 22 hit more of the northern end of the Perry County, which is Buckhorn and Chavies areas, and in 25 or this past year it felt like more like the southern end of the county got hit more.
It got hit down that way, and they said you think about Pike County.
Yeah, Pike.
Pike got hit really hard this year. So, and like I said, it depends where the rain falls and how it does.
Yeah, how it does. It's so tragic both times. It's just terrible.
Like I said, I was so worried this year. Let's say January here. Just now, we've got to come over here. BSN's been blessed, but I've come over here and do the basketball games, the baseball games over at Buckhorn, and just now getting used to being home. Yeah. And then the flood was right on the doorstep.
It took a little while to get back in the building, and then flood took out. We missed a lot. We've missed like close to 6 weeks of school total for flooding issues, water issues, or snow. It's just hard year to come back for the first year to get really at home because there's no. Well, we're glad to be back home, though. That's a fact. Now, new pitcher for the Bobcats, number 15. Number 15 is Kenyon Sloan. Looks like he moved over from second base. And I think Brown went to second base. So a quick, easy in and out change there, not rearranging the whole field. Now up to bat for the Wildcats is Gunnar Gay, we're number 2. Starts the count at 0-1 as he fouled one back. Comes to the plate. Off speed, a little high. So the count's 1-1.
Those were the hardest ones ever for me. Those off-speed pitches that were so off-speed. You had to watch them for so long.
Now I've watched this pitcher Sloan here for 2 pitches, and there's a noticeable difference between his fastball and a curveball velocity-wise.
And that was what causes what we just saw. You know, swing and a miss. So you said the velocity change is so drastic, it's hard to figure out your timing.
So the count's 1-2. Got 1 out in the inning. Sloan gets the pitch call. Goes through his windup. Goes to the plate. Fastball. Nice soft liner to third base for an easy second out of the inning. So it looks like Betsy Layne is very determined, very focused to get this game over with this inning.
Yeah, 1 out away from ending this one early in 4. As we have Miller coming up to bat for the Wildcats. Miller playing in that hoodie, looks like.
You know, really ain't a bad idea at this point. Remember those days, early in the season games where it gets really cold when the sun goes down. You know, being a high school athlete, you're thinking, I'll be all right. You get here about the 5th, 6th inning, you're freezing to death, and you huddle up in a blanket in the dugout. Sloan goes to the plate, to the windup. Breaking ball that breaks from the shoulder straight into the strike zone right down the pipe.
Yeah, you know, baseball the opposite of football. You know, football season starts out, you're dead heat, and it's awful, and by the end of the season you're playing in snow, and baseball's the opposite.
Yes.
You get to start the season in snow, and by the end you're praying for shade.
Sloan throws it in. Miller gets a bat on it. A little late, goes foul. Counts 0-2. Beauty about basketball is that it's 70 degrees every game. Sometimes warmer, no colder, though, I'll tell you that. But I'm big. I like hotter gyms. A lot of people don't like hot gyms, but I like to have a sweat going. Sloan gets the call, goes to his windup, goes to the plate. Foul tip by Miller, way to stay alive. Count still 0-2.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of questions at Bluegrass BSN about the baseball schedule. Well, we finally got basketball over with. We followed Breathitt County Bobcats to the Sweet 16 where they lost by 1 to North Laurel, and then we followed the Kentucky Wildcats. They lost to the Volunteers up there in the Sweet 16. So we are officially done with basketball and now can focus on softball and baseball.
Sloan goes to the windup, goes to the plate. There he go. He checked swing. He's running just in case he did go. Ball got past, and he is safe at first.
So the batter swung, so it was strike 3. Miller ran down safe at first.
So first baseman, from what I can see, is thought the runner might have turned to the left. And if you turn to the left after you run through first, it's counted as making an attempt at second, and you can take him out. Well, he tagged him, umpire comes safe, but the first baseman kept the glove on him, and there seems to be a lot of arguments here, a lot of disagreements about the keeping the glove on even after he's been caught safe the entire time.
Yeah, ball time had been called. First baseman still just trying to get that out and get out of this game.
Sloan goes in the stretch, comes set, goes to the plate, ball outside and low. So it counts 1-0. So now up to bat for the Wildcats is Joey Stamper, who's in the 9-hole. Maybe he can keep this inning alive. Let's line up, turn back over to the top of it.
So the Wildcats just need 1 run.
Just need 1 run to stay alive.
To get this one to the 5th.
That's low, so it counts 2-0. Maybe Miller swung on that last pitch because he knew it was going to be a wild pitch. Get on base.
It was low. Like I said, he tried to check his swing, went. Like I said, in the heads-up play, being able to get down to first.
Counts 2-0. Sloan checks the runner. Goes to the plate. Stamper swings, misses, counts 2-1. Got 2 down here. Bottom of the 4th. Runner on first. Sloan gets the call. Checks over the first. Gets set. Goes to the plate. Outside, counts 3-1.
Sloan and, like I said, Stamper, a lot in common here. They're both missing, just outside.
Just outside. It's a good place to live. If you miss a little bit too inside, you can hit them all the time. Sloan goes to the plate. Look like too high, ball 4. So Stamper advances the first. Miller advances the second. 2 outs. Now the top of the line's coming for the Wildcats. Braden Campbell's coming out. Now Campbell, this is his 3rd time up the bat. First time was a hit. Second time went down looking on strikes of a breaking ball that broke right into the zone at the last second. So Campbell, one of the better hitters on the Wildcats, and usually the more aggressive hitters, is going to try to keep the Wildcats alive in this game. So Sloan comes set, checks the runners, goes to the plate. Campbell swings, foul tip, straight back, so the count's 0-1.
Campbell's always looking to run quickly. He said mid-swing, it almost looks like he's opening that front foot up and trying to turn already to get started.
The way he's swinging, it looks like if he does make contact, it's going to come to this left field. We'll see if he makes solid contact and if it goes left field.
And coach is noticing the way he's swinging and made an adjustment here in the field to try to make a shift. Make a shift on it.
Strike 2. Campbell watched that go in. Looked like a breaking ball that broke in onto him. Might have caught the inside corner. So the count is 0-2 now. Runners on first and second. 2 down in the bottom of the 4th. Sloan looks in. Looks to his catcher to get the call. Comes set. Checks the runner. Goes to the plate. Tap. It's back to pitcher. He fields it over to first for the 3rd out. So, with the 15-run Mercy rule in, that will be ball game. So the Betsy Layne Bobcats beat the Buckhorn Wildcats 17-2 in 4 innings.
Yeah, it's a good showing here by Betsy Layne. Had a rough start to the year, but so tonight didn't look rough at all. Came in, the bats were hot from getting off the bus. And the job on the mound there, I said
Brown did a really good job on the mound there. He pitched 3 in a 3rd innings. Had a really good 3rd inning where he went 3 up, 3 down. They hit him a little bit the first inning, but after that first inning, he settled in and pitched a really good game.
Yes, so Brown was eventually pulled there in the 4th, but not. I think we think just a pitch count. Obviously he was still there. The pop was still on the fastball. He still has good control of his off-speed pitches. So kudos to the Betsy Layne Bobcats coming in here and getting the win over the Buckhorn Wildcats.
Yep, made the trip over, and the trip was successful for them.
Yeah, and I said, working on the schedule right now. That's what I did most of the day today, and getting everything scheduled up, guys. Like I said, right now we are, like I said, getting the rest of the year. Probably about 40 more baseball games going to be ready coming at you. Baseball, softball, mix. But
I'll put a little side note in there. It is baseball, so that'd probably be a tentative schedule if I had to be assuming because
yeah, that's the hardest thing ever.
Games can be canceled on a whim depending on weather, field conditions. So. Nothing's set in stone.
We've already had some games canceled just because they thought it was going to rain and it was cold outside. So, like I said, that's just part of baseball. Basketball is so much easier to schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it, comes with 2 inches of ice, I'm probably going to be there.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're working on the schedule. We'll get some new announcers coming actually for Bluegrass Sports Nation. Some new people have signed up, come on board, and help us call some games with tons of knowledge, softball and baseball knowledge across the board here. So I'm really excited to see how they're going to do and bring some action to everyone across the 14th region. We'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, Betsy Layne once again has come into Buckhorn High School and has taken the 17-2 win over the Buckhorn Wildcats. You got any closing words, Shannon?
It's a good game. Betsy Layne impressed me a lot from there. They hit the ball well, played the field very well, didn't really make any errors. Still early season for the Wildcats. They'll make improvements, make adjustments here and there. Everybody's still trying to feel their spot. You know, we got a lot of guys who's playing for the first year, second year, and that, you know, as time goes on, they'll improve. They, you know, start a little slow, and it's hard to come back from a slow start if you don't get back on track from the start.
Yeah, like I said, the first inning looked really promising there. Came out 4 hits, 2 runs. After that, though, it just Brown settled in. You know,
Brown settled in, you know.
And after that, he just shut them out the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So, once again, that does it for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in to Bluegrass Sports Nation. Keep up to date there on our Facebook page, and we'll let you know what the schedule is moving forward. So, for Shannon Blank and Matthew Hudson, until next time on Bluegrass Sports Nation, thank you guys for watching.